Simple FX. Now, last week we did an effect in After Effects, and you might have been disappointed because you might not have had it. Well, this week we'll be using a free program called Blender, and the effect that we'll be doing is this effect. 3D text, where it kind of comes out of the wall. And the program that we'll be using for this is Blender. Blender is a free 3D program, and it works just as well as all the others, Maya, 3ds Max, and yeah. So click the download now button, and you'll see that it's available for Windows and 32 and 64-bit, Linux, and Mac, and a ton of other operating systems. So if you're on Mac like me, you want to differentiate whether you're on a PowerPC or Intel, because it works on both. So what you want to do is download the one. I'm on an Intel, so I would click this, but I already have it downloaded, so I don't need to. Also, another thing that you might want to check is that you have a program called Python, because Python is a scripting software that you need in order to run Blender. So if you use English, then you might want to click on the USA, and there's German and other languages too. So yeah, and then once you have it downloaded, it should open up like this. So when you first open it, it should look like this. And so what you want to do is click the Alt option button and move around with the mouse. And then you'll see a 3D plane. And that'll make it a lot easier to see everything. So what I like to do is right click here and click Split Area. Move it up to here and click View Camera. And that's about how I have mine set up. So for this effect, I'm just going to show you the bare minimums of what to do. So click on the Add button, Mesh, Plane. And so then, if you zoom in, you see a plane. So what you want to do is center that where it's right there. Okay, so what you want to do once it's centered is click the S button and just move it out from the center, like that. Just like that. Maybe to about there, maybe. So then what you want to do is zoom out and right-click on the camera. You then want to move it on the red arrow, so that's the x-axis, and then click RZ and rotate it so that it's facing the center. Then what you want to do is click RX and rotate it about 90 degrees so that it's right there. Sorry, RX. There we go. And then you want to move it up so that in the center of your view you see where the green and red axes meet. So right about there, and then yeah. Okay, so now you have the background set up, and click on the render button, render current frame. And you'll see that it's just a plane with nothing. Add text. You'll then see that you have some text there, but it just says text. So what you want to do is go to Edit Mode, and then click the delete button 4 times in order to delete all the text, and then write what you want. So I guess I'll write your text here. So I'll be putting this up as a template up on my website. Okay, so now once you've had your text written, you go back, click on Edit Mode, and click Object Mode. And so that brings it back to the mode you had before. Move it to the center, and then scale it up like that along the Z-axis. So what you want to do then is zoom in on this view, and you'll see that it's just 2D text with no depth. So what you want to do is, if you're not already on this mode, click on the editing mode or press F9. Okay, so then what you want to do is, if you see the extrude button here, you want to drag it to maybe about... So what you want to do is then you see that it's 3D text. So now that you have depth to the text, you want to make sure that it's moved to about right where it's just almost going through the other plane layer that we had. So you want to move it and just until you see that it's going through like right there. And so you have the base for what you're going to do. And if it's too zoomed away, then just move the camera closer on the Z-axis. Just move your camera to where it should be. So then when you click Render Current Frame, you'll see that you have 3D text. Now you'll also see that the light is just coming from here. So you'll also notice that the light, or this object here, comes from the same place where the light does. So you should probably realize that that is the light. So what you want to do is make sure that it's zoomed in enough. So about there. And again, to rotate, it's Option, click, and drag. So what you want to do now that you've right-clicked on that is go to Shading, and then click on the light bulb here, and you want to click Hemi. And that makes a little softer light, and you'll see that when you have that, now it has a path that it goes along. So what we want to do is rotate on the Z-axis, so RZ. And you just want to move it so that it kind of is above the text here on the Y-axis and going down like that. And you'll see when we render it, it looks like that. Now that's a little harsh lighting because you can't completely see it. So you want to move that down to about maybe 50. And you'll see that it's a little better. So you'll see that when you render it, it's still a little hard to see the text properly. So what you want to do is you want to click Add Lamp Lamp. You'll see that it adds a lamp right there. So what you want to do is drag your lamp out to about the opposite Y-axis coordinates, so that on top on the Y-axis you have the Hemi light, and on the bottom you have the regular lamp. Now you'll see it's still a little fuzzy there, but that's fine. All you want to do for that is right-click on the text layer, then go back to editing mode and just extrude a little more. And move it out to about there. And that's only if you want to. And you'll see that it's a little more defined. There's also an option to have it beveled, the edge, so that it looks a little more natural. And maybe it's a certain effect that you're looking for. So when you have that, you can choose to extrude it or not. I'm not going to extrude it because I didn't in the effect that I was actually doing. So, or I'm not going to bevel it because that's what I did not do. So then when you have that,